Hi everybody, it's Hannah from Mother Goose's Makery and welcome back to my channel. I'm hoping that you've seen part one of this video, which is where I made a gingerbread house out of the Tonic Studios Homely Hugs die set, which was all very normal, just gingerbread shaped. This is the episode where I go rogue and redesign the box to be a flat box-shaped box that magnetically attaches to another half of a box-shaped box, so it's two boxes in one. I have no idea why or where this came from, but it happened. And it's glorious and it brought me joy. So, enjoy! I haven't used any dies that aren't in the Homely Hugs box set. In fact, I have only used 5 dies to make this. So, oh no, tell a lie. I have used 6. We have the square that makes the base, the sides and the backs. We have the sides, which also make the flap, the lid. We have the hinge, which provides 2 sides on the lid. You see here, and also is used to adhere the lid to it. This is just for placement purposes and also to curve the edge of our paper so that it doesn't catch when you open it. And then these 2 are for the mechanism. So, if you're ready, let's go with our amended cantilevered pretty sewing box. So, the base boxes were made exactly the same as the gingerbread house ones. You have a base, 4 sides, and then instead of putting another base on the top, because I used a very thick cardstock, I think it's about 290 GSM, I just lined it with some of the Tonic vintage vignette paper that I just edged with some Victorian velvet distress oxide to make it look pretty and intentional. So we have 2 of those. Then for the lid, we have another square. We've attached hinges on 3 sides. And then, using the side die, I cut a side, and then I just trimmed off that side flap because we're not joining it up to anything. So it's literally just the side with an adhesive flap. So what we're going to do, just going to pop a little bit of glue onto the flap, and then that goes on the 4th side. Press that down, and then in order to cover up the inside, just pop some glue on. What I did for all the layers of coloured card, I literally just trimmed some 12 by 12 paper, 3 by 3, because these are about 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. So 3 by 3 gives us a nice little surround by the outside, and then I just edged all of it in a little Distress Oxide ink, just so it looks finished, because I sometimes find that if you just have like raw paper, it can feel a bit like you've just stuck some paper onto something, whereas the second you start inking it, it suddenly looks a lot more intentional. So, before I stick that on the front, I have some magnets. Which I believe, yeah, I tested them earlier. So what's going to happen is I want this to magnetically shut, but also attach to the other one so it all shuts in the middle. So this side is the one that's attracted to that magnet. So that is our front one. Normally I would use a little bit of magic red liner tape, but I'm aware that I have moved it and I am not standing up again. So that is fine. We can use glue. It's good glue. I just normally use a little bit of red liner for double protection. That to go in the middle. This to go on top. Just seal that over. So we've got our magnet under there, and that's nicely stuck down all around it. So that's safely in there. It's lined. So we're just going to stick this flap onto the back of our top box. What we do is we stick onto the back, because then we're just going to stick the back piece over the top. There you go. You can see we've got that stuck down. These two sides go inside. This will go here. But we need the other magnet here. I'm going to get this. And then I can just see exactly where it needs to go, because I've made a little print in the glue. It's not what I would normally do. I would normally use red liner tape. I would normally line it up first, but you know, it's not what's happening today, and that's okay. Because you can come up with these great plans and then you actually have to make something happen with them. So this was just a piece of 3 that was halved, I think. I might have possibly trimmed a tiny, tiny slice off. And again, just edged in the Victorian velvet. So then that shuts like this. And then when that is stacked to this, the 2 bits will come together. And it will be beautiful. Right, so onwards. We need our mechanism. Right, so for the mechanism, you're going to take your sides. And what you're just going to need to do, you can just use any old pencil for this. Line it up so that it's at the bottom line of the die and within the sides. And then I just pick one of the corners and round it off. And then the exact same on the opposite side. Oh, no, that's, oh, there you go. Beautiful. And then you're literally just going to take some scissors and round it off. I mean, to be fair, because this isn't as tall as this, you could have popped that in there and run it through the die cutting machine, and then that would have cut a perfect corner for you. But there you go. Right, so now we need our mechanism. So it's exactly the same as when we made the gingerbread house. We're just ignoring the fact that this isn't shaped like a house, apart from it being a square. That's the only difference. So I'm just going to pop that where it needs to be. And that one goes that way. And then you do the same again. You line it up. Pop that in the opposite way, so that it's a mirror image of the first one. And there we have our mirror image piece. So we've got our sides for our mechanisms. The only other thing I'm going to need to cut out is I forgot my big circles, so 1 second. And the very last thing we're going to have to do, just get the paper that was due to go on this one, and then we're just going to have to do a little cornerectomy. Hate cutting corners. Not even metaphorically. I literally hate cutting corners. That's why I have corner cutters. But then I get scared once you start layering corner cutters on that it suddenly becomes uneven. Plus I didn't do the original ones with corner cutters. So anyway, it is what it is. And then just tiny bit of Victorian velvet on the corner. So it still looks finished. Perfect. Right. We can't stick this on until the mechanism is on. So what we're going to do is, if you can remember from the gingerbread house, that the top one has to be furthest away from the end that's opening out. So this side is going to be this one. So a drop of glue, pop those in, give that a second, flip it over, bit of glue, a bit of glue. And just the 2 small circles go on. Right, perfect. So whilst we just wait for those to 100% dry, you can see we have our little tiny little glue baggie there. No. Got a circle there, on the top one, circle on that side, circle on that side. You can just give a good press with your fingers on the inside to make sure that's firmly on. So, top one furthest away, bottom one closest to. We're just going to try and speed bake the box now. So curved edge is closest to the foldy outside. Although this should be identical, that's not the one I used, must be this one. And see, perfect fit. There you go. That's what it was. Right. So, glue on there. And on there. And we place the bigger ones. Ooh. Over top to encapsulate. Pop that on. Oh yeah, and you can see that's clearly the right way around because that fits where we were. You want some glue. Ah. I mean, it helps if they stick. And this one here, so you will see, mechanism works, the box opens and shuts. So now we just need to do the sides. So this one, you glue all over the back of the top. Because we're putting on another plain side bit, completely covered in card. And that just goes there. And that's your stopper for when it's going back so that the top level doesn't fall. Nice. And then on the sides, please help if the writing's the right way up. So remember, you cannot go over the mechanism, so go around the mechanism. Because otherwise, if you stick it down, it's not going to open. There you go. All around the mechanism, curve side to curve side. Just pop this down. Turn that to me a bit so I can actually see it. Oop. Went a bit high on the glue. We'll just gloss over that. I would normally be using my precision tip glue. However, I've been crafting so much I used it up, and laziness won over. So instead of refilling it, I was like, I don't have time for that. And just grabbed my next big bottle of glue. I regret that because I like the precision that the precision tip gives. Glue's in the name, people. Does the job. Right. Not going quite as far to the edge this time. Gonna pop this on. And these two. Perfect. And what I'm gonna do, I want these two to be attached. So I'm going to open them both out. And I've got 2 small cut lengths here, which I measured and will be the distance, if I put on its side, from that pivot to that pivot. So we'll just cover the side, and it can be 1. We'll apply some glue in the middle. My genius plan, which is what I wanted to do. Should I do it? Oh, I'm tempted. Oh, I've also realised I've stuck that in the wrong way around. Life is too short. It's going to be covered in sweets. I was going to put magnets in the front of here so that you could then detach these and then you have 2 matching boxes. Or they could come together and be 1, which I think... Oh, do I do it? Okay, so I have one of those brains that kind of goes off on a tangent quite easily. And I decided, originally, these were going to be glued together. Attached with the magnet at the top. And then you would just open either side and it would open out cantilever style. So you would end up with two boxes like this. And you'd have a glorious cantilevered box. However, my mind went rogue and I thought, how cool would it be if you had a box that you could tear apart and would make 2 separate gift boxes, 2 little twin boxes, but that also came back together to make 1 super box. So that is what I have done. Well, that is what I'm going to do. I've affixed some red liner tape onto the front just for ease of magneting. Weirdly, this red liner tape is actually a red line. Normally, it is red backing. This one has white backing, red tape. Blew my tiny mind. Right. But it still sticks stuff, so I don't really care because it's going to be covered up. So, let's find the front and the back of the magnet. They're the 2 sides that love each other. Okay. Put that down. There you go, left a tiny mark. Put that there. 2 magnets. Perfect. Nice. Right. I've cut another 2 small bits of card. It's so annoying because all the other card I'd cut fit perfectly out of a 12 by 12. I used up the entire sheet. No scraps. Not a smidge left. So I had to cut into a second piece of 12 by 12, which is very annoying. But it is what it is. So I've cut these again. They're about 1.5 by 3. Edged in Victorian velvet because it matches the pretty girliness. See now I've decided I'm going massively rogue and doing something that previously I was not going to do. I'm tempted to give these to my aunt for her birthday. So to go for a glittery 7-0 on the top. That might happen. When you see the final finished photos, that might well have happened. So obviously the paper will stick to the red liner tape. It'll also stick with the glue. Sticking the paper in place will help with keeping the magnet where it should be. So there's part of me that's so upset that this paper is the wrong way around, and I'm just going to shut it and pretend I can't see it. And then I can't get upset. And if you make these boxes, don't leave them around a 5-year-old, because somehow she'd managed to, this, I came back to it earlier, and this one was upside down. So it was open on the bottom and on the top. I don't know how she did it. She has skills. Right, so. We have very pretty cubes. And it would be really nice if you did it in a paper that continued along. They separate. They can go side by side. They can go together. You can stack them on top of each other, though you wouldn't be able to open them, which one might argue renders a box pointless, but they look really cute. Oh. 1 second. Oh. Oh, these fit perfectly. This could be storage. The size suddenly occurred to me. You could have a row of these in each colour. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, pink, brown, black, grey, whatever. And then you could put your inks for each colour. And you could fit like 4 inks in. And oh my God, that would be spectacular. That would be spectacular. But this is not the one for that, because this is going to my aunt. So this is going to be lovely, and it's going to go to my aunt, and it's going to not have Distress Oxides in, but instead will have Lindor, because they're her favourite. But this is a sexy little pair of conjoined boxes. We also have our little gingerbread house. And I feel like they as makes couldn't be more different. Both equally fabulous in their own way. Both bring me unreserved joy, but completely different makes. Absolutely love them. Homely Hugs, brilliant set. And I hope that this has shown that although it is a house-shaped die set and it has all the windows and the doors and all the paraphernalia, that you can actually use less of the dies and come up with something completely different. It's the same basis, it's the same mechanism, but they're different shaped boxes. They have a different quirk to them. I love it. So anyway, if you liked this video, please like and subscribe, pretty please. Just so it helps my videos get noticed. If you want to buy anything from Tonic, I have an affiliate link in my bio and in the video description. It just helps support this so I can continue making lovely crafty goodies for all you guys to watch. If you have any questions, let me know and I will try my best to answer them. I think I've tried to explain as best I can what I've done, but my brain has gone off on tangents a few times, so it's all gone a little bit rogue. We've now got magnets involved and all sorts. When I started this, it was literally just going to be the house, and then it escalated massively. But yes, like, subscribe, buy stuff from Tonic. If you make this, I'd love to see what you do, particularly if you do my amended version, because I think it's pretty cool. And keep crafty. Bye, everyone.